Good afternoon. It's been raining, so we've got a lot of rain. We've got all the calves in the pens here. I'm going to look at them real quick and just talk a little bit about what we're doing with them and what they are, and just kind of my thoughts on what and when and why and all that kind of stuff, which is meaningless to everybody else, but it helps me. I'm going to pick some more bulls out of here to breed with, because I know Elvis can't handle all of them. And I already know two of them 100%. One of them's a red bull. If they've got a pink tag in their ear, it's a full Mashona. But one of them is a red bull. He's a real nice dude. That may be him right over there. That may be him right there. There's a couple of 2 or 3 red ones that are nice, but there's one red one that's really nice. He's really put together like a bull should be, I think, anyway. But then there's one black one. Oh, and I should preface that by saying I got to cheat a little bit, because I followed them in when I was bringing them into the pens. I followed them with their mama, and their mamas were a nice bag, perfect bag. One was a red Angus, one was a black Angus, and they just didn't have. They weren't humongous cows. They were probably 900 pounds, maybe less. And so I would love to have a bunch of those just like them. I'm looking for the black one, if I can spot him. There's a few blacks in here, but we've been in the pens now. We've just, got them going on feed barely. And so they've just been standing here balling. I haven't given them any round bells yet. I've sprinkling, if you saw last year how I'll do it, I'll sprinkle a little bit of hay through here, through the bunks, and then I'll top it with a little bit of the feed that we're teaching them to eat before they go to the sale. And it takes just a little bit to get them on it, but we'll keep them long enough where we know that they're on it good and they'll fill back up. Last year when I went, our calves were the only ones that were laying around while everybody was. Here's that little bull right here. This is him right here. His mama was a black one. What do you say, bud? This is the best side of him back here, if he'll let me get his. He's just a nice bull. Gutted right now, but that's the black one. And then the red one, he's a real muscly bull. Yep, that's him. Oh yeah, I like you, buddy. Anyway, in case you can't tell, we got a little bit of rain here. Just a little bit, which is great. We needed the rain. I just wanted to come down here and walk around with them just a little bit. And I've talked about this before, when you're going to ship animals, you don't want to take all the motion out of them. There's a way that you can take the movement out of the cattle, calming them down, taking the stress off. And if we were keeping these for a long time, it wouldn't bother me to take some of that movement out. But because we're going to be loading them in the truck here, pretty quick, I'd say a couple weeks, maybe a little bit longer. Just depends on how they're eating and what's going on. I don't want to take that movement out because it makes it a whole lot easier to load them. Hey, buddy. So these are the heifers. There again, the pink tags are going to be full Mashonas, so they'll stay. They'll go somewhere else. They'll go out with the big herd probably once they get good and weaned from their mamas. This is going to be a good set of heifers too. They're going to fit well with what we already have, is what I should say. There's a lot of people that don't like a little thinner boned animals, and we do, and so that they look, when we first started looking at them, they looked funny to us because we were dealing with big boned animals and all that kind of stuff. But the smaller boned animals seem to be more efficient on grass. And really our program is based more for the cow. We want a cow that's going to have a baby every year, bring a baby to the table every year, with no inputs. Once we have that, then it's real easy to put a terminal cross bull on them and make the calves big bone, something that everybody likes. At least a lot of people like at the sale barns. We sold 21 Coriani cows. I was ready to get them out of here. And so we had them preg checked. Anybody want to guess how many were bred? What the percentage was? 100%. That's what I told the kid when he was unloading them. He said, "You getting out of your Corianis?" And I said, "Yeah, they make too much money." Kind of makes you wonder why we're all dinking around with all this other stuff. You know, the Angus and the Herefords and the Charolais and the Chianina and the Red Angus and the Cinepoles and the South Poles and all of that stuff. How many South Poles do you know that 100%? Now you may find a group that's got lots. I'm talking with no inputs, 0 inputs. No crutches. I was pretty impressed with the Corianis for that. Really was. Now, I'll tell you this. I think that there's some of them, in my opinion, and I haven't kept a close enough eye on them, I think there's some of them that didn't bring a calf to the table. Because I would see them later in the season, and they had either kicked one off, which is fine, or they kicked it off way early. Well, then, yeah, they should be 100%. But it was very interesting how 100% of them were bred. Good morning. This is remnant of 2015. This is what we had happen. Simon is out. It's actually running through the pens up there where the calves are. This is outside of our fence. And I can't even see the river over there, but I'm sure it's out. I'm sure back here on Pike Road it's out. That's why I haven't seen any vehicles go by this morning. So we're gonna just run down and make sure there was a tornado that was at where we're located. We're gonna run down and make sure that there's nothing else messed up down here. Okay, we don't know how much rain we had last night, but we had a little bit of rain. And this is the pens. And water, the river is running through. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a couple bales in here for the heifers. The bulls have a nice high spot over there they can get to. But you see the heifers down there standing in the water. I don't know. I really thought the bulls were going to be the ones that I needed to kind of move, but they're choosing to stand in the water. They've got some room up here. So let me go get some bales and see if I can't get them out. Okay, that's about all I can fit in here right now and still be able to get the tractor in. This is going to have to go down a little bit. They've got a little bit of hay here, so they should be excited here for a minute. Okay. They'll start working on that. The bulls have still got a little bit over there on a high spot, so we're going to leave them alone, let the heifers come out here and kind of get out of the water and eat a little bit. And then we'll come back after a little while and check. Well, that gives you an idea of where the water came to, or is coming to. That's behind our house. That's the creek over there. Rolling. That rain was from last night, and it was this morning that I was taking that video. So now it is probably about 12:30, and so the water has started receding a little bit, so we've got a little relief. I'm going to turn you around here so you can see the cattle. Now we're still in mud, but that's better than water. It's been way worse than that before. But I can't remember that I've had it in the pens with freshly weaned calves before. So this is kind of a new deal, but they're taking it fairly well. You can see right here, there's one that's kind of sore-footed a little bit right in through there. I don't know if I'm pointing in the right spot or not, but that was actually probably when we were sorting. Somebody made some noise, and it was a bunch of noise, and they panicked, and I mean, they crushed. You can look up here and see that feeder. They crushed that feeder. One of them got thrown over in the water tub. It was just a bona fide wreck. And no, that's not when that electric line happened. That was when I was loading out the cows. We had a couple, 2 or 3 cows that were, what do you want to call them? Crazy. So anyway, it's been an exciting week or two here. So now we're draining the feeders. This has come down a bunch. Now you can see over their backs there. You can still see water running over there. That's the creek. So it's just right there. I still need to get over there on my four-wheeler, and I will in a minute here and see what's going on. I haven't been able to do that. We've had other things going. So let's go take a look at it here in a little bit and see what it's actually doing. Okay. You want the good news? It's gone down. The bad news? Very reminiscent of 2015. You can look down that fence down there, that direction, and as far as that water has come, well, you can see where the fence is down. Then you can look this direction on that side of the road, and it looks like that fence is down there too. It's no big deal for me. I mean, it is, because I've learned to not procrastinate fixing it back now. But when Lisa sees it, she's going to have a hard time, because that was a very depressing time in her life. I shouldn't say that. She just buckled down and we got it fixed. But to see it again is going to be hard on her. So this is the Simon side. I have no idea what the perimeter fence is going to look like. And we just got to wait and let this go down and see. It has gone down a bunch. It's gone down a bunch. Okay, we'll have to get around though. We can go around and get on the ranch another way. For those of y'all that don't know, I can get out on the main road, maybe, if I can get across. If not, I'll have to hook up to the trailer and drive all the way around, several sections around, and then come back to the ranch and come in that north end. So, this is a lot more swift than it was back there earlier. Quite a bit deeper too. I think I'm going to back up. Well, it is Monday. The fence has been dead since Saturday, I believe. And so I couldn't get in here because the low water crossing that you saw. And the cattle are still in, the cows, which is amazing. Just you can see them coming through there's a little drainage right there that's moving some water. These cows, this is normally a half day to a 3/4 day pasture. And with the storms, they've been in there for 2.5 to 3 days. So they look okay. I'm glad that they are still there. Very glad that they are still there. Now I've got to try and get the fence hot. I'm going to have to do some maneuvering around that because there are lots of fences down, and a lot of them are trunk line fences. So I don't know what I'll have to just maneuver around that to kind of get some electricity down here. All right, let's keep moving. Okay, so that creek got up, and you can see how far up it was right here. This is where it came across through here. And just to give you an idea, over here is where the low water, what we call the low water crossing is. Of course, it laid all this over. And then this is all that high tensile netting goat fence. It laid it over all the way to that first brace. So it cut across there. You can see where there's debris at the bottom of those trees. That's kind of where it came across. So my electric fence is down there where the cows are, and so I need it. Obviously it's coming across up here, but when it gets here it just goes south on everything because I've got those single wires on top. Well, I was noticing on this stretch right here it had actually popped out of, and I've already told y'all how I feel about these clips. I don't like them. They're not very secure. But anyway, what it did do was it let me see that if I'll just pop that top wire out, even with the fence down, I can get power to my electric fence. So hey, so I started because I need it to run down through here and then over. then I'll go ahead and hook this gate back up if I want to. But if I can just get it running here where the cattle are, it's good. It'll have them. So I'm gonna get that done real quick. All that debris on the line. So you can see water was still washing debris into the fence back here, but it wasn't running enough. It was just kind of maybe backfilling a little bit. It wasn't running enough to take the fence down. But it goes to about right here, which is where it did last time in 2015. Somewhere right in through here is where it stopped. And so you can look back that way. Where that shadow is across the road down there is where that low water crossing is. And you can kind of see all the debris back here in the trees and things like that. So that shows you kind of where it came across. So luckily though, it looks like it probably just kind of came up right here, and just the light stuff kind of got over into this. Now as I get a little bit further down, you can kind of see it was running a little bit more, but it was still going that way. It didn't come over the road. So that's why it didn't get the fence, and that's good, because in 2015 it took this fence down all the way to that far brace up there, that Christmas tree brace, so just past that electric pole. Good morning. Ow! Moving cattle. This is the sail that we managed to get all the fence up and hot. It goes right by, that runs next to the small creek right there, and it was bottom wire was under, but were able to just kind of shake that brush off and get it done pretty quick. Boy, that is a outstanding little red calf. Her mama's out of cycle, but anyway, so we are still, it's amazing when you get a big flood, it feels and it looks like everything is just clean. It's kind of nice. I told Lisa, I said she's going to be driving down through here in a little bit, and I said, look at everything, look at how clean everything is. I mean, the grass is clean. The cattle are clean. The low water crossing is real clean. It's just, she would really like it because she likes things tidy and clean. And I hear her coming. We'll just ask her what she thought. Maybe if she stops. If she's not in a position to be on film, she might duck and keep right on going. Let's see. Here she comes. Ow! Let's see what she does. But the cattle, they're just doing great. They, oh, I hear one back over there. That's not good. There she comes. Y'all pay attention. She's not ducking. She must be presentable. That's good. She's presentable to me as soon as she wakes up. She doesn't think she is, but I'm telling you, she is. What do you think?
You didn't tell me you were moving cows right through here.
Well, I'm moving them. I just got done moving the goats.
Made it across the creek.
Yeah, kill that for a minute. I was just sitting here talking about how everything looks real clean. Do you notice that? The road's clean, the low water crossing's clean. It's kind of nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought I was saying that you would really like that.
I did.
You know, we didn't get a count on how many calves we turned back out. I figured there was probably 10 to 15, you think?
Yeah. I don't know. Are you counting them right now?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
I
4.
couldn't find any gloves. All I could find were left-handed. So I had one backwards.
That's not the same glove either.
I know. I couldn't find any of my gloves.
Huh. Interior fencing. Here we go. This is that section right here by that low water crossing. We found out from the oil pumper today that part of the trouble was a big lake busted upstream, and so we caught a lot of that water at once, plus the 14 inches they got at Wilson. That's never good. You can back up just a little more. That's perfect. Hey, good morning. We had about 2 days in there that ended yesterday where we could get across the main crossing into the ranch. Now we can always go around, but it takes us an extra, depends on how high the water is. I mean, it could take us an hour, but so we got a little bit done, which is good. Rain last night again. I'm not complaining about rain. I'm just not, it's hard for me to complain about rain. We've been putting up lots of fence and setting fence up and re-stretching and shaking debris off a fence and all that kind of stuff, and it just keeps coming, baby. You can't complain. So I'm early out, crossing the creek, getting over and taking care of the dogs, and they're all good with the goats here. They're right here. They're close to this low water crossing in this pasture, so I just wanted to make sure I got them fed before it got up, because it's coming up. It is coming up, and This is headed our way. Yeah! So now I'm going to get back to the house and get the tractor in the shop. This is when I like to try to do any service stuff that needs to be done. And this is a good time to grease stuff, and if I need to change any oil, if it's time to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the tractor in there and be prepared to do that in case it comes and stays for a while. And when I say stays for a while, I'm talking about this. Of course, I'd like for it to be in there for when the rain does hit. But I don't know. There's something about rain and just how it cleans everything that it just is pretty when you get out after it. As long as you don't look at the destruction. All right. Let's keep on working. 4 hours later. Wow. Okay, I guess it's back to the shop. I do have more things I can do, so let's just go do that. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.